Hi, man.
Yeah.
Eternal Israel, and we are talking with our friend Gedaliah in Eli about what's going on in Israel with this crazy virus crisis. And Gedaliah, I'm sure that you all are feeling the effects of this lockdown. I mean, the government is even threatening to use security to find out where everybody's moving and so forth. So please tell us what's happening on your side of the world over there in Israel and the Shomron.
Well, it's interesting. I want to just first start off by saying it's very bizarre to have a conversation with my wife where she says, you know what? It's very strange that the problems we're having here in Israel are not only Israeli problems, they're global problems. So this is like pretty much one of the first times in my memory living here in Israel that I'd say like this is a problem that people can understand, because usually we have to explain our problems and to go into, we're fighting against the people's lying about us. So it's very unusual that we just are actually, not only are we experiencing the same problems, but most countries in the world are actually watching us very closely in how we are dealing with this crisis. And so there's a lot of pressure on Israel. And plus we feel that we're not just an isolated country. We're meant to be an influencer around the world. So we are not only looking to find a vaccine, a cure, and a way to control it for ourselves, but also for the world. We are looking to be a light upon the nations. And I think that this is a great example of hopefully how we could succeed, because I think that we are, in a way, showing the world how to deal with a crisis that the world has never seen before, ever.
No, it's certainly true. This is unprecedented, and it is global. And yeah, in many ways, Israel, all eyes are on Israel as taking a lead on how to cope with this thing. But tell us personally, how are you and your family doing, Gedaliah, and your friends and the community of Eli there? What's are you able to get groceries? We're seeing, hoarding of food and items like toilet paper. You can't even buy it. Pasta is off the shelves. It's unbelievable what's happening in the West here. What's happening there?
So we're much more. I think we're much more advanced in our seclusion than the rest of the West is. What we're seeing today is. Nobody is walking within 6 feet of each other. Not even, you can't even enter a room with 10 other people. You would be the 11th, so you couldn't be part of. So, our daily prayers here in Israel at the synagogue, you need a quorum of 10 people for the prayers. Well, that's the maximum you're allowed to have. Weddings aren't taking place in a normal situation. We've seen on social media that weddings are taking place in supermarkets. They're taking place just outside in the middle of nowhere, where people are spread out. It's very hard. There's no schools. The kids are not going to school. They're all at home. The neighbors, we're not interacting with each other so much. There's most of our communications today are happening through social media. We're living in a very strange time. I mean, people are getting nervous, fearful. The fear that I feel and the uncertainty is really, for me, it's like a litmus test on where my faith is. Where's my emunah? What level of trust in Hashem do I have that I'm going to be fearful? Because at the end of the day, if you're a God-fearing person and you understand that everything in this world is part of a plan and everything is good, that everything is good. It's not everything will be good, that everything is good. Just like, if you get a slap on the back of your tush, from your father as you're running out in the middle of the street, you don't realize that slap that you're crying from is good. It's not, it will be good, but it's good. So I feel like at some point right now we're getting a little slap, we're getting a little shake. And but it's good. But in order for it to be really good, I think we really have to do what we say in Hebrew. It's a cheshbon nefesh, which is more of like an inward calculation of yourself and really figure out where are we in this world, and what's our connection with other people, what's our connection with God. And from there, hopefully, it's a work in progress for me, but I feel that there's a heavy fear to burden in my chest, on my shoulders, and I know that's a way for me to realize that I need to work on myself more.
Right, right. One of the things that I'm sure, comes to your mind and many of the others there in Israel, as it is with us as Christians, is what are we leading up to? I mean, we're all looking for Messiah, and I'm sure that is something that is creating this crisis, is creating a greater consciousness of that, perhaps, maybe, Gedaliah?
So I'm no rabbi. I'm not a Talmid Chacham, as we say. I'm a very learned person in Torah. But what I do know is that there is what was told to me today by a rabbi who said that, just like as a bowling ball that rolls down the alley, it vibrates on the ground. You can feel it. Because that's what's happening today. This is like the coming of the Mashiach. We know something is going on that is not quote unquote normal as we know it.
It's not.
I mean, who would have thought 3 months ago you would have told me that your family would have been quarantined essentially in the house. All the borders of most countries are going to be closed. Airlines are closed. How about this? One of the biggest issues going on today in Israel is always about the public desecration of the Sabbath. Going to movies, going out to eat, public transportation. The Jewish people who are commanded to keep the Sabbath are saying, listen, it's not for me, and you shouldn't put it on me. You shouldn't force me to. And I agree. I'm not about forcing anything on anybody. I think that it should come from a place of love, and it should come from a place that they see value in it and they want to do it. But that's for me. If I were God on this, sometimes you don't give people a choice. So what we see today is, and I'm not saying there's a silver lining, and again, everything is good, right? Of coming from a place of faith that everything is good. But the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Health, they recommended that all public transportation be shut down from Thursday night to Sunday morning. No restaurants open, no clubs, no movie theaters, nothing. So it's as like the people of Israel are going back to their roots when Shabbat was given to us first as a gift, and that everybody kept Shabbat before we started kind of moving away. So it's a very interesting time. We believe that it's a time for Mashiach. I can only pray that it is, but we all feel it. Feel something is going on.
Well, it is truly a time to stop and take an inventory. And as I'd asked earlier, how are you and your family coping? I mean, one of the things that is an objective of Return to Israel, Christians in support of Jewish sovereignty, is helping our Jewish brothers and sisters like you in Israel. And if you and others are feeling the economic crunch coming down already, maybe this is a time where those of us that may have a little extra, we can share it with you there over in Israel. So what's happening? I mean, you still got work, your wife and others, or what?
So so for us specifically, we work. Here's what we do in real life for a living. We help small businesses, small medium-sized businesses in Judea and Samaria. We help them by creating infrastructure for small businesses, tools, marketing. We're bringing in the whole community. So you know what? It's very important that you buy local. Not only buy local if you live in Judea and Samaria, but local as in also in your heart and your soul, because Judea and Samaria is the soul of the Jewish people. It's the center of the universe. It's the original Bible Belt. We say Jerusalem is the center of the universe. Well, Jerusalem is the capital of Judea and Samaria. And so it's so important for us to make sure that we're part of this story. Now, what's going on today, because we work with thousands of businesses in Judea and Samaria, is that stores are just closing. Services are just ending. It became a full stop for so many. Yes, there are certain industries that are doing well. Gas companies are doing well. accountants still have work because, of course, people need to get their finances in order and things like that. But for things that aren't urgent, they're just nothing. They're closing down. So we're in the beginning, and I please God this is not true. We're in the beginning of a severe economic crisis that the world has never seen. And I don't see it as only being, again, unique to Judea and Samaria, but all of Israel and all the world. But what we're looking to do, actually, because there's a lot of businesses who sell products. They have a commercial venture, but a lot of them don't have e-commerce websites, which right now e-commerce is booming for those who are able to afford and buy things online. So what we're actually looking to do with Dapik Atom, which is our campaign for businesses in Judea and Samaria, is to build 100 e-commerce websites in the next month or two, and to deliver them in partnership with these businesses who currently do not have an avenue to sell their goods. And so that's a campaign that we're looking to do. If there's anybody that wants to get involved with that, of course, we'd be very happy if you would sponsor a number of these different websites. But yeah, I mean, we at the end of the day, we would of course love people to buy from them. But our short-term goals right now is to make sure that these businesses could continue to operate, could continue to not only survive but to thrive, because the day after is going to be a big test. It's going to be whether or not the backbone of any civilization, which is our small and medium-sized businesses, are they going to make it through this storm? And that's the big question. And it's really, the answer is really in our hands. It's in our wallet. So no matter where you are in the world, look local to buy something. Don't just look at Amazon. Don't just look at the best price that you can get. Because without your local stores, you don't have a community. That's it.
Well, you brought up some good points there, and surely the multinational, multi-trillionaire companies are going to weather this storm, but what about the people on the ground there? So as you've pointed out, and for our listening audience, if you truly have a compassion for our Jewish brothers and sisters in Israel who are going through an economic crisis and are able to help Gedaliah and these different ones do the only thing they can do, and that is to set up for e-commerce, because people are locked down. They can't go out. Fortunately, there's a few businesses that are able to deliver and so forth. So that's a way to help. And we want you to give us more information, too, in the future, Gedaliah, as this story continues to evolve and unfold about what more we can do. And so we invite you to come back and stay tuned for future updates from Israel, from Return to Israel, and see how you can help in this unfolding crisis. So thank you very much, Gedaliah, and God bless you and your family. And as you prepare for Shabbat coming up, we hope that you got enough food on the grocery store shelves and that it wasn't locked down for you.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Thank God, everything on that level is good.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good. Well, thanks for your time, and we'll be in touch.